Welcome to Mentoring Mondays, and it's great to be with you again at the start of another working week. Today we're in 1 John, and we're looking at a verse. Every verse in 1 John is great, isn't it? It's the whole love letter from God to us, really. And here in 1 John 3:16, and yeah, it is 1 John 3:16. We're so used to John 3:16, but 1 John 3:16 says this: "By this we know love, because he laid down his life for us, and we also ought to lay down our lives for the brethren." Another great verse in John's first letter is this: "By this we know that we pass from death to life, in that we love the brethren." And I must say that when I committed my life to the Lord in my teens, that verse, "By this we know we pass from death to life, in that we love the brethren," was absolutely transformative for me, because I was rather an arrogant teenager and I really struggled to cope with Christians. I just didn't really get my head around them at all. And yet, when I gave my life to the Lord, the thing that leapt out of me was that people I'd really struggled with suddenly became people that I really valued. And this is why, you end up with this complete transformation. Because Jesus laid down his life for us, then we ought to be prepared to lay our lives down for others. And it goes beyond the ought to be prepared to the point where God has worked something in our hearts where that is our natural response. If you love someone, you'd want to put yourself out for them. So I want to put those two verses together. This one here about laying down your life, but that other one where he says, "By this we know we pass from death to life, in that we love the brethren." I know when I look at the church, it doesn't always look as great as it should. But I do remember one of the things that God said to me as a young Christian was, I haven't finished with people yet. So don't just look at them and think they're not what they should be. Just rejoice in the fact that they're not what they were. And that's true for me too. But I do pray that we'll actually get to that point where the Church of Jesus Christ really appreciates not only that Jesus has laid down his life for us, but that we should be prepared to show that love for one another. Because that's the way the world's going to know, isn't it? "By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, in that you have love for one another." So let's have a real kind of love, the kind of love which says, "I'll lay it down for you," in honor preferring one another, not always trying to get to the top, but being there to encourage other people to go ahead of us. That should be a great example that we can be living out in front of a world that is obviously consumed with a rat race, that by God's grace we've been lifted out of. Thanks for watching. If you've been watching on Facebook, hit the like button. If you've been watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Thanks.